This album is incredible. It rocks. It kicks some major ass.
This album is completely different than the first.
We took longer in writing it, and I think it was less impulsive is probably the biggest thing.
Everything's a lot more well thought out. It wasn't just sort of like, hey, cool, I found a cool sound on the guitar, let's try to put that into a song.
It doesn't sound as amateur as the last album.
And we actually collaborated much more as a band.
We took more time to listen to things, we tried out a lot of different options, and even if we came out with the first one, you know, at least we knew why. So I feel like it's stronger, the writing's matured more, the production value has gone up, and overall I think it's just a more mature, solid album than last time.
Dan and me, for a year straight, just did, you know, countless scratch tracks and revisions after revision after revision after revision.
Yeah, and I just think it's more well thought out. The songs are catchier. There's points to songs. It's not just, you know, hey, check out what I did.
It's a really big sound that we could go in any direction.
It was a much more piece-by-piece process than the last album.
Pretty much everybody lives in a different state.
You know, Bill was in California, Brandon was in Chicago, I was here in Wisconsin, and we had to, you know, record stuff, send it over via email.
Finally, me, Bill, and Dan over Skype and the internet, you know, kind of tossed us back and forth and came up with, you know, full songs.
You know, we took more time to listen, and
that kind of influenced the music, made it a little more energetic, and opened up the hi-hat in certain places and stuff like that.
A song like Skeleton, for example, you know, I wrote the chorus of that almost a year ago, it seems like, and recorded a rough thing and sent it to the guys, and it never would have showed up on this album if Brandon hadn't kept saying, guys, I like this song, we should really finish this song, I like this song, what should we do?
Yeah, so, and then, you know, bringing in BJ and having him throw in some fresh ideas, and, you know, we had a couple of songs where it was written for Bill's voice, and then we found BJ and we had to completely change the melodies and stuff.
You know, when we were in the studio, it got kind of stressful because I was telling the guys, look, you know, I just can't do it like this. If you want someone who can do that, you know, you got to find someone else. And I was half serious. I guess I sort of expected that I would have some input into who they would find, but as soon as I went back to school the next year, they told me that they found someone and they were trying them out, and they were going to send me some tracks as to how it felt.
That's actually a great story, how BJ and I met.
Well, I was doing a show, community theater. I was doing a Rocky Horror Show.
Brandon was playing guitar in it, and
while I was in the pit, I kept, you know, looking up, and I would hear this amazing voice, and it was just, you know, just hitting B flats, high B flats like it was no problem in Chet's voice, and I was just blown away.
That show, everybody became really, really good friends. We got to know each other.
And they were doing karaoke, and Brandon showed up and he was like, hey, check out this guy.
I was blown away, so immediately I knew we need to get this guy in the band.
Brandon just sort of looked at me and nodded, and I was like, we gotta talk to this guy.
He had expressed their interest in possibly finding a singer.
It was a little bit of a struggle trying to kind of convince the other guys, and finally, you know, of course, Bill, being the old singer.
And we brought him in without Bill knowing, actually, and we recorded some songs.
It was hard for him to let down, you know, step down from the front man post and take, you know, as a backup vocalist and bass player.
Then I had to make a very scary phone call to Bill, being like, hey, we found a guy and we've done some recordings, we want you to check it out.
You know, I'll admit it took a while to get over the shock. I wasn't really mad about being replaced, just more about the concept that I was replaceable.
Of course, he was very mad, but he's grown to love the guy. He's a great guy.
We kind of just hit it off and bouncing ideas, and it's kind of just took off ever since. It never really slowed down.
You know, he was really cool about the whole thing. You couldn't deny that he had a great voice. I mean, there were some alterations that he made to the old songs that I can't imagine him any other way now.
Bill's voice meshes with him beautifully, and it's opened up a lot of new doors that we can work with vocally.
BJ is a true tenor. That guy's got a ridiculously high voice, and it sounds great.
He was very cool about letting me steer him to get, you know, some of the original meaning out, some of the stuff that I wish I would have been able to do.
It worked out. It really did. We, you know, recorded an album this summer, so it worked.
The album took about 3 months to record.
Recording this time around was also very different. I mean, everything was pretty much different on this album.
We experimented with tones before we just went ahead and did stuff.
I learned a lot in school over the past couple years about recording, and I kind of took the helm, incorporating things that I had learned on the last album as well as other projects.
And so we both came back with all these new tips and tricks and stuff to do in my studio and in his studio and Dan's basement stuff with all new equipment.
I mean, first of all, there's just more mics on everything, period.
And working with Pro Tools for the first time, as a band, and in general, things went faster.
We were much more disciplined just on our instruments and stuff. It wasn't like, you have to get this in one take.
Again, a lot of fun, and I think it turned out really, really well.
Everything's a lot cleaner, and it's really going to show.
You'll hear on this album the quality. We really stepped it up on that, and
it was. It took a long time, and it was worth it. It just, if you want to do something well, you have to take your time and do it right. So.
It was just overall a lot smoother, and it's going to sound a lot better because we knew what we were doing.
I'm looking forward to playing, let's see, it's going to be called No, but we know it now as Fried Chicken. I think it's just got a lot of great energy, hoping to get people jumping.
It's actually Weave. It's the acoustic one. It's just, it's kind of one of those inspired moments.
Stand My Ground also is one that I've always really liked.
Probably the heaviest points on this album are Demon Scream, the bridge, and the outro. There's some kick-ass panning.
I hope people will be singing along with songs like Skeleton and...
Take You Down. I'm a big metalhead. Take You Down is just... It's an ass kicker.
Changes, just to get a change of pace.
Control, the song that we've already played live. I just can't wait now that it's finalized. And
a lot of music is coming. It's like I said, sky's the limit. It's gonna be big.
Really, this entire album is gonna be fun live. I think everyone will enjoy it.
The new album will be available January 3rd, High New Saloon.